Okay, so now let's give the styling to our component, which is showing us the recipe name and the recipe image. So for that, first of all, I'll need to give the class names to the respective containers. For example, this p tag right here. So for that, I'll be giving a class name. So the class name would be maybe recipe name, because it's showing the name. So it will be recipe underscore underscore name, and maybe we can give recipe tile because we are Benman convention is being followed. So recipe tile underscore underscore name. All right, you can just copy this, and for the image also we can give a class name. That will be class name is equal to recipe tile underscore underscore image. I mean, save it, and we'll go back to the course. Where we'll go back, we've not yet created a css file. So first of all, we have to create the style.css inside this recipe tile. So we'll create a style.css, and here we'll first of all we import it inside this. So we'll import style.css. Yeah, we'll save it, and we'll go to the style.css and we'll start off our styling. First of all, we'll style the recipe tile, and for the recipe tile we'll give the display should be flex, and the flex direction should be column, right? There should be column. So flex direction should be column. Sounds fair enough. Next, we'll justify the content to center. It should be in the center. It should not be in the left, right, bottom, top, whatever. It should be in the center. Next, the align items should be the center, and this is the basic css properties. You should know it. And whenever I hover over the tile, so it should change from pointer, from like the pointer to cursor, like the cursor to pointer, whatever it is, but I'll show you how that works. I'm confused with the name. Okay, pointer, and let's save it, and let's go back to where our okay. So do we have anything? We have got change anything? I don't know. Recipe tile, it's same, same. All right. Let me just go ahead and check if it's working properly. So now I'll give the class to the image tile underscore image, and here I'll give it an height of 200 pixels and width of also 200 pixels. Should be a perfect square. Then object fit cover, object fit should be cover. Now why this we are using object fit cover? For example, any image is big or small, so I don't want it to be like look different. They should be all of same size and same orientation. So that's why I'm doing this, and we'll give a border radius of 5 pixels. And now let's go ahead and check how this is looking. So of course the size has changed, and there is also border radius. So that means the CSS file is properly aligned and it's working properly. Let's go back to the VS Code, and now what we'll do is we'll give the last styling, that is for the name. So recipe tile underscore underscore name. So for this we'll give a max width of 200 pixels, and here we'll give a text align of center, because we want it to be in center. And let me save it and see. Where is my, okay, but I want to give a little bit of margin to it because it's getting too much closer to the image. So that's why I want to give a little bit margin here. So let's go ahead and give it a margin. So the margin would be margin top and bottom 12 pixels and left and right 0, because we don't care about the left and right. So that's what it is. Let's go back to the browser and see. You can see now it's not like sitting on the image. Earlier it was sitting on the image, but there is a little bit of margin now in between, so it looks decent. But now let me just close this. We don't want like one column, we want at least two columns. So how that will be done? So it's coming right now in just one column. I want two columns. So for that we need to give styling to the div in which this entire array is being rendered. So that is in the app.js file. So for that I need to go to the app.js file only. So let's go to the app.js file. So we need to go to the app.js where that div is situated. So that div is at the bottom, I hope so. Okay, this div right here. So for that we'll give it a class name, and will be something called as app, of course, because it's in the app component. Recipes. Let me save it and go to its CSS file, and at the bottom I'll create the styling for this. So that would style with the class name of app, not submit, app, and then the recipes. So now we want to give, first of all, we want to give it a margin because it's getting there. Let me show you where it's getting little like closer. So that we need to give, and we want to display it in a grid, so that we need to give, and there should be columns. Okay, there should be columns, and align that the item should be in the baseline. So I just told you. Now let me just show you and execute, so you'll have a clear picture of what I'm trying to say. Right now it was just theory. So now what we want to give is we can provide a space here. Okay, looks cleaner. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to give a margin top of 20 or 24 pixels, maybe that would work. Okay, now let me save and just go back. Now you can see it's a little like there's a room. Okay, now let's go back and let me provide display grid. Now this is the most important part, display grid, because we want it to in the form of grid. So let me just save it and let me just check. Nothing happened. Okay, I don't know why, but we'll take a look. Now we want to take the grid and we want to provide it into the columns. Now I got why nothing happened. Grid template columns, and that would be, I guess, 20 pixels, 20 pixels each, 20 pixels each. Let me just save it, and now I hope that works. Yeah, we got two columns, and then the images are in their columns. That's pretty cool. And one more thing I notice here is that like this image is bigger than this, so there is a little disalignment. They should be aligned in a line. So for that we can provide a CSS class, CSS attribute. So that would be align items in the baseline. So align items baseline. Now when we go to the browser and check that same image, So still there is a little, I think this is because of the name, because its name is a little big, little bigger than it. So that's why this is happening. Now we'll provide this, we'll provide the name at the bottom of the image. It does not look good at the top. So let me bring it down and let me save it and go back to the browser, and now it looks good. Now yeah, the baseline problem is also solved. Now they are in like one alignment, there is no disalignment. Now you can see that some images are not being loaded. So what is the reason for it? So the images are in a different format, like the images which can be loaded maybe JPG, JPEG and GIF and PNG, but these images are in SVG probably. So yeah, exactly. So what we need to do is we need to provide a filter which will just show us the images which are in the JPEG format or respective formats. We don't want SVG or something like that. So for that we'll use a trick. So in a concept, you will learn a new concept. So that concept we'll see in the next video.